Oh, and it's working even. That's perfect, huh? Perfect little lighting setup here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, the live's running. We're going to run this intro and then do a podcast. I feel like I haven't done one of these in fucking a month somehow. But I'm here, we're doing it. Either way. Suzette, Australia in the building. Jose, good morning. I'm going to play this intro and then we're going to get into this shit. Little story to tell you guys today. A little bit of a story. Good morning, beautiful motherfuckers. Let's run this intro. It sounds fine in my ears too. Is this crooked? Is my camera crooked? I don't think it's level. I don't think it's level. Yo, you beautiful motherfuckers. Good morning. Welcome to the first ever podcast done on a Friday morning. Why are we doing it on a Friday morning? I have no idea, to be honest with you. I have no idea. Actually, that's a lie. I have a lot of excuses and reasons why we're doing it on Friday. And we'll get into all that here in just a second. First thing I want to go over with everybody is the upcoming events. We do upcoming events once a week, or try to once a week. I didn't do them for the Thailand episode because, well, I just didn't even think about it. We had Alex and Eric there. Said they wanted to get on the podcast and talk some shit. So we got on the podcast and talked some shit. And it was a super, super funny episode. If you guys haven't watched that episode or haven't seen it yet, we're almost 15,000 listens on that episode from Thailand. So that's episode 91. If you are not subscribed to the iTunes yet, please do so. Bull-NA-ChinaShop podcast on iTunes. Bull-NA-ChinaShop TV on YouTube. Good morning, everyone. First I've got June 2nd coming up. The Quebec, Canada show, second annual Magic Bully Canada Abkc show right there in Quebec, Canada. Actually in Grenville, Quebec. Close to Montreal. I think it's like 25 minutes from Montreal, so pretty close to Montreal. Hotel du Lac Carling. Contact Matthew Kwan. My guy Matthew threw the first ever Abkc show in Canada last year. I was fortunate enough to judge that show, and we got it kicked off. I think we got the movement kicked off up there pretty nice, in a good direction. We'll say that. So that's June 2nd in Grenville, Quebec, Canada. Contact Matthew Kwan on that. After that, Euro Nationals, July 21st. Royal Highland Centre in Edinburgh, Scotland. One of the biggest venues in Edinburgh. One of the venues that major artists use when they come there to throw concerts and festivals and all kinds of crazy shit, so it should be dope. It's a multi-breed Abkc sanctioned event. American Bully, Alapaha Bulldog, Cane Corso, English Bulldog, French Bulldog, New Age Bulldog, Old English Bulldog, Staffy Bull, Shorty Bull, Bull Terrier, and junior handlers for all 4 shows. I was told it was 4 shows. Could be 3-show event. You know how these UK guys go. Could only be 2. These motherfuckers do not care. Could only be 2. Contact Team Abkc UK on that one. Sean Main, Derek Morris, or William Byrne. Booths are already sold out, so right now you're looking for tickets and crate space and trying to get a hotel room somewhere in Edinburgh. So figure that out. Already, shit is sold out already. That's not till July 21st. Euro Nationals. Can't wait for that shit. Cannot wait for that shit. My good friend Suzette is also having a show in Australia May 26th. I don't know how many of you guys have been to Australia. If you have not been, you should go. Pretty crazy experience. It's dope. It's a really great country, friendly country. And according to statistics, the fattest country in the world, which makes most of us feel really good about ourselves, you know? So statistically, everybody says the United States is the fattest country in the world. Not true. Statistically, it's Australia. I love you, Suzette. Just a fact. How it goes. Cam, Brandon, Brendan, all you guys, Jacob, my guy Scott down there, James. Shout out to everybody in Australia. Have fun May 26th. Wish I could be there. And then after that, we've got a bunch of stuff on the schedule. Nothing locked in yet. We've got some stuff working in September in Ireland. We've got some other stuff working as far as judging goes. But I think that is it. Now, if you got, like I said, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the iTunes and the YouTube channel for video versions of the podcast. It'll be on the YouTube channel. Every podcast video, full video version is on there. Or stay right here on the Bull-NA-Chinashop TV page and just look through the videos on this page. You'll be able to see all the videos that we've put up here also. But there is some exclusive content on the YouTube channel you won't find on Facebook. So check out the YouTube channel. Hit subscribe. I love your faces. I appreciate all the support. Now, I've been getting messages all week. People asking me if I was okay, if I made it back from Thailand. Haven't done a podcast since I've been back. Yes, I'm home. I'm fine. However, we did have a little bit of a complication. As you guys know, I got a bunch of tattoo work done while I was there on the last day. Actually, the last night we were there. So we basically stopped tattooing 30 minutes before I got on the shuttle bus to go to the airport. Probably not the smartest idea. Not going to lie to you guys. Probably should have done the tattoo work the first day instead of the last day. I do this every single time, and it leaves my healing process open on those planes, you know. And if you guys know anything about an airplane or an airport, not the most sanitary environment, not a clean room by any means. So I fell asleep on one of my brand new tattoos, and my shirt pulled the whole top layer of color out of the tattoo. If you guys can imagine me on an airplane seat that's only this wide, you know what I'm saying? Squished in there. And you've got your brand new fucking 6-hour-old tattoo leaning up against your shirt. My shirt literally just fused to that shit and pulled the whole top layer off and left that particular tattoo even more open, and got some stuff in there, a little bit of an infection, had to be on some antibiotics. Didn't know the antibiotics would completely shut my fucking body down like they did. Dehydrated me, took the energy out of me, motivation out of me. I'm blaming it on the antibiotics. Could be just me being lazy, but it's been an experience, man. It's been an experience. First time I've had something like that happen on the way back. And I literally think it was just because it was that 14-hour flight, 6 hours after I got the new ink done, you know. So if you guys see me in person, you'll see some of the new flags. You'll see some of the new pieces I got added on. You know, I'm just working on this traveler sleeve, man. Trying to get it filled up, trying to get the arm filled up. You guys can see I got 4 open spots on there now. One's reserved for Australia, one's reserved for Wales, and the other one's reserved for England. Now, I've been to England multiple times, and I got the Union Jack, the UK Union Jack. Got that. That's not the English flag. Been to England several times, and I just feel like it's it's kind of a slap in the face to my World Traveler sleeve to have the Great Britain flag on there and not the English flag individually. Obviously, Scotland's on there individually. Ireland's on there individually. Wales will be on there individually. I'm not going to leave the Union Jack as a representative of England. I'm going to put the St. George's Cross on there also. So we're going to be working on that. So 3 of the open spots are already filled. The next country I go to there'll be a spot open for that 4th spot. I don't know if you guys can tell, I haven't trimmed my beard, done any kind of anything since I got back from Thailand. I'm telling you, these antibiotics ruined my fucking life, man. I had to stop with that. I had to quit with that. Another thing about Thailand, other than the tattoos and the podcast and the show and everything that we did, there's a vlog on the YouTube channel right now, the part 1 of the vlog. Everything we did before the show. Some fun, some laughs, some cool shit to see. Also, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. This was out of nowhere. This was a complete surprise. The people on the podcast, you won't be able to see this. People listening just to the audio. It's a painting of my boy Maestro that they surprised me with when I got over there. Really dope. It's on canvas. It's a really cool thing. And you know, I'm into the paintings kinda of the dog. So this one will be going up on the wall. I think I'm gonna have to reconfigure my wall because we got 3 more paintings coming also. Kind of a little over the top with the paintings, but I like art and I like artists and I like when people do like genuine shit like this, and it says a lot about the impact you're making when you show up someplace you've never been and people are there waiting with paintings of your dogs and shit. Crazy. Thank you to the artist. I can't pronounce your name. I love your face. I'm sorry. Apina, please send my love to the artist. What else do we got? So I get back from Thailand and immediately we have to go to Kansas City for a show, and we're showing one of my bust to Cleopatra males that I kept, Cletus. We're showing him and he only needs a few points to champ, and he ends up champing in the 3rd show. We didn't even have to wait to the 4th show. Champed halfway through the day. I'm not sure what happened in the 1st show. To be honest with you, I can't even remember who the judge was. But what I watched happen was the last place dog, what I would consider to be last place in that class, win the whole fucking class. And then I believe Cletus took the next 2 shows all the way to best pocket and even best of winners. So the inconsistency, I mean, it's something I've been talking about for a while, but the inconsistency with some of these judges, it really is discouraging to me. And I'm a judge. I've been doing this a long time. I've seen a lot of scenarios. But when I can look at a class and I say, that's the last place fucking dog, that is the dog that I would say is last place in this class, and that dog wins, it blows my fucking mind, man. It's inexcusable. The dog had no type. The dog looked like a very terrier type dog. If that judge does not understand that we are not choosing terrier type dogs in a ring, especially in a ring that has 4 other American bullies that could easily win that class, she shouldn't be, or he or she or whoever the fuck it is, shouldn't be in the ring judging. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be harsh about it, but the last place dog won. The only dog that didn't really look like an American bully in that class won. And this is a 1 to 2 year old pocket class. So they're over 1 year old, right? We're not waiting for them to come out of some lanky stage or ugly stage. There was a terrier type dog. To me, outside the range of styles that we are accepting in the breed, terrier type dog, last place in the class, in my opinion, first place. Blew my mind. Anyway, So he would have champed in the second show. We had to wait till the third show because we just needed to get, I think we needed 40 points, and we had to have 2 majors because he won 2 majors, but both of them were under the same judge. So now Cletus is a champion. He's won 4 best of winners already in his career, and we've only showed him at 3 events. Obviously, they were 4 show events, so 12 shows total, but only showed him at 3 events. I really think Cletus is going to be next in line. Next in line. The little things that I want to change about Maestro, he has, and obviously doesn't have as much mass as Maestro, but there's not too many 15-inch dogs in the country that have as much mass or bone or head size as Maestro. Not too many of them. I can list them on one hand. I don't give a shit if she's judging off of movement. I don't give a shit what the judge was looking at. I don't give a shit. There's 5 dogs in the ring. 4 of them look like American bullies. 1 does not. The one that does not doesn't even come into consideration. Do you understand what I'm saying? You judge the 4 American bullies in the ring. There's an American Pit Bull Terrier in the ring with 4 American bullies. I don't give a shit how well that American Pit Bull Terrier moves. I don't give a shit. That dog's not even in contention. Not even in consideration. Anyway. But so, Cletus is a champion now. Made me think like how Cletus came to be. Because right now, moving forward, he's as close. I mean, as close to a perfect American bully as I've got. Obviously, he's not perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. There's no perfect dog of any breed, especially American bully. But for me, what I've produced, the things that I've had my hands involved in, he's as close to a perfect American bully as I've got so far. Now, he's still young. Obviously, still, I think he's 13 months or 14 months. Still young. But knowing how his blood develops, knowing how the Bus, his dad, national winner, grand champion, the Bus, knowing how he developed and what he looked like when he was a year, 13 months, 14 months, and knowing how my side of the stuff develops, Cleopatra, knowing the stages she went through and how she grew into her ugliness, lankiness, goofiness, we'll say. Francesca behind that, knowing how she grew and developed. Jackpot behind that, behind Cleo, knowing how much he developed after he was 18 months old. I'm really excited for Cletus's future. I'm really excited for Bus Jr. as well. Now, Bus Jr. and Cletus are littermate brothers, both come out of the Bus, grand champion, nationals winner, the Bus, bred to Cleopatra. Cleopatra's Maestro's mom. This girl, lady in the painting right here, I know you can't see the whole painting. When you do, or if you have, that's her, okay? Knowing what's behind these 2 dogs, Bus Jr. and Cletus, I can see the future. Both of these dudes are going to be that dude. When I say that dude, I mean next in line. I mean the males that we're going to be pushing moving forward. Obviously, Maestro's been closed for a while, and we're going to open him back up to a few select females here in the United States, probably fairly soon. But really, who we're going to be pushing and promoting is Cletus and Bus Jr. And it just makes me think of how Cletus came to be. Like the steps, the path, everything that fell into place and lined up the right way for how Cletus came to be. And I'm just going to tell you the story going all the way back to even before Cletus's mom. We're going to start with Cletus's grandmother, Francesca. Now, Cletus is off of the Bus, like I said, and Cleopatra. Cleopatra's parents are Jackpot and Francesca. The Bus's parents are Bistro and a short bus female named Widget. Obviously, I can't comment too much on Widget and what's behind her, but I've seen Bistro. I've seen Bistro develop, seen his parents, seen his grandfather, and watched him produce. I mean, what he's producing, obviously, Maestro, Loki, Tito down there with Ariel. Shout out to Ariel and Tito. The bus that Robert has. Shout out to Rob. But just watching what he's produced, I have a little bit of background on him, not too much. But the funny thing is, Bistro doesn't tie into this story till Francesca had already hit the show ring. And as you'll see, that wasn't even the intention in the beginning with her. Anyway, it all starts, I think 2004. 2003 or 2004, or maybe 2005, I bought my own dog. Dog's name was Sherman. Brindle dog like Clutch right here. Solid brindle, tiger stripe brindle, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Beautiful dog, American Pit Bull Terrier, bought it for $100 off a back road. You know, didn't know shit, didn't have papers, didn't know a thing about a thing. Bought him. Some things led to other things. Ended up buying 2 females. Didn't realize about the paperwork even still. Real deal backyard breeder, you know. Bought a male from here. Bought a couple females from here. We're going to throw them together. We're going to make some money. From there, we didn't make any money because I took what money I did make and sold most of those to my friends, which Sherman's only litter. I think 4 of them are still alive, and I've seen all 4 in person within the last probably 2 years. So it's good to see them still pushing, still getting up and down, still living the life, family companions like I intended them to be. It didn't work out like that with all of them, obviously. I wasn't in the right situation, or I wasn't educated enough to get them in the right situation, all of them, or to even avoid doing that breeding altogether. Probably now I would never even have done that breeding, just because, you know, the dogs didn't complement each other. They had no pedigree, had no paperwork. But so we used the money from those litters and we bought Champion Rain. Now, you guys have all heard the story about Champion Rain. I did a big thing when he passed. Champion Rain was the first paper dog that I bought, first male that I bought, first American bully, what I would consider an American bully, the first one that I owned. Now, after I bought Champion Rain, I found this guy whose name I couldn't pronounce at the time, Ife Okidokun, okay? I called him E. Because that's what he said, call me E. I said, I can't pronounce your fucking name. I don't know how to even say that. You know, I'm not from Africa. I'm from the trailer park. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea how to pronounce that name. So I called him E. He had a female for sale named Pearl. Now, Pearl is Mega Million's grandmother. That's how that ties all back into the program. So I bought Pearl from E. Bred Pearl to Rain. Produced Mega's mom, the litter that Mega's mother came out of. Now, the significance of that is Pearl created that connection between E and myself. And you guys know him as Okie Dokie Kennels online now. He's got Riff Raff. He's got this dog Enough. More into the exotic style stuff now. Always had dogs that were kind of on the fringe, even going back to Loaded Lux and Big Mac, who's Francesca's dad. He's always had dogs that were kind of on the fringe of shit, kind of on the edge, whether that's, what is that? That's a little too freaky to be what we're looking for the show ring. What is that, you know? So that the significance of that is Pearl made the connection between E and myself. Not like we became blood brothers or not, you know, we were not having sword fights while we were taking a piss, nothing like that. But it created that connection. It was somebody I could reach out to for advice because E's super knowledgeable. Even back then, gave me a lot of advice on promoting your studs and how you do business and, you know, puppy sales and contracts. And I got a lot of information from this man. Probably some that he didn't even want to give me. I was probably that annoying guy looking for a mentor, which is one of the reasons why I try to respond to everybody that messages me looking for a mentor. I try to respond to them in the same way he responded to me. Because if he would have treated me like that annoying guy looking for a mentor and blew me off, who knows who I would have went to or the information I would have got. Good information or bad information, who the fuck knows, you know? So we've got this open communication between us, starting with Pearl. You know, I'm doing my thing. I've got Mega's mom's litter, promoting those. Not exactly what I wanted. So I'm talking to E one day, and he says he's moving from where he was at in Ohio to, I think, New York or Philadelphia at the time. Now he's moving to pursue one of his passions, which is stand-up comedy. I love stand-up. I got I got a little bit of knowledge about what goes into that shit, and I know it's going to be tough for him at pursuing that if he's got a bunch of dogs. So I said, man, that's great. I support 100%. Let me know when you're going to be doing a show. Maybe I can come to one, which I still haven't got to go to a show yet. E, motherfucker, set me up some tickets, bro. No, I'm just playing. Next time I'm in Texas, I am going to try to catch a show, though. That's for real. So he says to me he's moving to Philadelphia or New York. I can't remember if it was Philly or New York. He's moving to Philadelphia to pursue this dream. I said, listen, man, I got nothing but respect for you, nothing but support. If you need anything, let me know. If I can do anything, let me know. Now, I didn't know at the time that he had 2 pregnant females. One was named Miss Pac-Man. One was named, who was also bred to Francesca's dad, Big Mac. One was named Sierra, who's Francesca's mom, who was bred to this dog named Big Mac, who got sold to, I think, Guam. So when I said that, you know, just literally not expecting anything back, not expecting E to even take me up on my offer, I said, if you need anything, if I can do anything, let me know. You know, if you need some dogs held, you need, you know, anything like that, let me know. You need a spot where shit needs to go where you can sell it, let me know. Well, he says, it's funny you say that because I've got 2 pregnant bitches and I'm actually trying to figure out who's going to whelp these litters while I'm in this moving process. And, you know, I'd never done that before. Kind of made me nervous, kind of made me step back and kind of think to myself, you know, do I want to take on that responsibility? Do I want someone else's females? Do I want someone else's puppies? You know, do I want that? Do I need that stress? But I also knew that E had the type of dogs that I liked. I seen Big Mac when he was a puppy, massive dog, G2 style head, crazy bone. Some things I didn't like about him. No dog's perfect. And I knew Sierra, I'd seen her before also. My type of bitch, 16-inch bitch, compact, bully. You could definitely look at her and say that's a bully, 100%. And it was some blood that I was fairly familiar with. Pee-wee's sister and some G2 stuff. And a mixture of, you know, Pachanga's brother Kimbo, G2 stuff, Gabe, Pee-wee's sister. Just a combination of stuff that I really liked, and it was outcrossed. And that's exactly what I was looking for at the time. So what initially was a unselfish act, an unselfish gesture, turned into a very selfish pursuit on my part because I knew that Big Mac and Sierra breeding was going to be right up my alley, something I was definitely going to be able to use, something I would like to feed in the future. So I said, all right, I'll come get Sierra. I want second pick bitch out of the litter. You know, I'm not doing it for free, but I'm also not trying to kill you. I offered, so I'll take second pick, bitch. Ife agreed. I come pick up the bitch. I take her home. She's got like a month. I think she's 3 weeks or a month left before the litter. All's good. Everything's gravy. I'm feeling like a great person because I'm doing something nice for my guy. He's feeling safe and secure because he knows me. I'm a fucking dog, man. He knows everything's going to be fine. Everyone's happy as fuck. Sierra comes into labor, middle of the night. At the time, I didn't have an emergency vet. I didn't have somebody I could go to. So we're whelping puppies. You know, we're going to try to do this natural. We're going to try to get these motherfuckers out of her the old-fashioned way. She has, I think, 3 puppies just fine. Everything comes out great. The puppies are healthy and alive. But she kind of gets stuck. And I didn't know how many was in there. We didn't do x-rays back then. We didn't do any of that. I didn't know how many was in there. I knew there was more, though. And she was kind of stuck. I didn't realize they like to take a break at some point halfway through or close to halfway through. So she's, you know, walking around, kind of moving around. I think she's trying to move a puppy out. So we leave her in. We take her out through the kitchen to the outside so she can go to the bathroom. 5 steps into the kitchen, 5 steps into the kitchen, she has a puppy. I'm reacting so quick. I grab a towel and catch the puppy before it actually hits the kitchen floor. Turns out that puppy that I caught coming out of this bitch ends up being Francesca. Didn't know her name was going to be Francesca at the time. Didn't even know that was the one I was going to keep. To be honest with you, when she came out, she looked like a fucking French bulldog puppy. I've never seen anything like it. I said, I don't even know what that is, but she's crazy looking. I love her. You know, 4 or 5 weeks go by. My guy E and I are messaging back and forth. I'm sending him pictures. Back in those days, motherfuckers, back in those days, you had to get your pictures taken from an actual camera and put on a disc that you could put into your computer that you could then send through email to someone. Or get the shit printed and then send them through the mail. Those are the only 2 options you had. So we fill up like 17 disposable cameras worth of pictures. Send him a bunch of pictures. He's going to come up and make his pick anyway. So none of the ears are cropped. I didn't have a vet that would crop any of the ears. None of the ears are cropped. He comes to the house. I'm living in Pennsylvania at the time. He comes to the house. I think it was the night before I left for Nationals, 2010. So Atlanta 2010, the night before I left for that Nationals, my guy E comes over and makes his choice. Well, the puppy that I caught that looked like a French bulldog, I honestly assumed that was going to be his first choice. So I had my sights set on this little brindle female that had a crazy head shape, similar to Francesca's, but even a shorter muzzle, crazy looking little female. And solid brindle. At the time, I kind of liked solid brindle because of my first dog, Sherman. Not the case anymore. Not a huge fan of brindle. I think it just takes away the lines of your dog and it looks like they're dirty all the time. And I hate that shit. Anyway, sometimes it's pretty though. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes the brindle's pretty. Clutch, this brindle that he's got, he's like camouflage brindle almost. Sometimes it's pretty. But, so he comes and he makes his choice. He chooses the brindle bitch that I had my eye on. And then I'm looking at this little French bulldog looking thing saying, this is the one. I guess this is the one. Which I was a little bit disappointed, but everything happens for a fucking reason, people. So this, I choose, and she has these little, she's black, but she's got these little light markings on her face, on her cheeks, on her eyebrows, and on her legs. I didn't know what the fuck that even was. I didn't know what a try was. I didn't know. Who gives a shit about that? You know what I mean? Give me a shiny black coat, pop those muscles out, or a shiny blue coat, smooth, shiny, tight blue coat, pop those muscles out and show me those lines. That's what I cared about. I didn't give a shit about no try. even know I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know that could happen. Didn't know. So he comes over to picks his bitch. We take a couple of pictures of my male Rain, Champion Rain, you've heard me talk about, which are still some of the better pictures of Rain. It was in my kitchen with ease. I don't even know what it was. Piece of shit Rebel camp. The first Rebel ever made, maybe? I don't know. So he picks his bitch, and I'm kind of disappointed. So I'm stuck with this other chick. But then this Francesca, we ended up naming her Francesca because she still looked like a fucking French bulldog puppy when she was like 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. And she had these ears. They weren't like stuck straight up in the air like you see now, but they were like half pricked and like laying over to the side. So it made her look like a little, I don't even know what she looked like, but she looked different. And, you know, initially it was just something I extended a hand to E, said, hey, if you need any help, let me know. Now down, 4 months down the line, 5 months down the line, I'm sitting here with this litter of puppies. E sells them all. A couple of them go to Japan. One goes to Guam, along with Big Mac. He keeps his bitch. I keep my bitch. Everyone's happy. He got what he wanted. I got what I wanted. Everyone's happy. Worked out amazing for both sides. Now I've got this pretty little black bitch I don't know what I'm even going to do with. Didn't even think about going in the show ring with her. Because at that Nationals 2010 in Atlanta, I took Rain, showed him, and also did a bunch of stack-offs with him. Now, he did not get any kind of attention in the show ring. Nobody knew who he was. On the stack-off stage, though, that motherfucker could stand next to any dog and look good. Any dog. The only dog I would never put him next to was Steve from Pure Blues Boy named Yayo. Yayo's the craziest dog I've ever seen in my life. Steven's one of the craziest to this day. I would never let Rain stand next to him. But Rain stood next to every other dog at that Nationals and held his own. And we got a lot more attention from those stack-offs. And we got some attention for some puppies, got some interest in some stud fees. I didn't even get a third place ribbon in the ring. So at that point in life, I'm not putting a whole lot of stock into the show ring. The show ring was not a high priority at that point. So Francesca, even though I knew she was built really well, she was compact, thick body, athletic as shit, and had this cheeky, like evil looking head to her. But she still had these big floppy ears all the way until she was like 11 months old. I think until I cropped her. Which right now, I would not recommend you wait until a dog's a year old to crop. But at the time, this is all a learning process. A learning process for me and the people that I was dealing with. We were all new. You know what I'm saying? And we had places to go. We had the MSM boards and we had the Elite Edge boards in the community and stuff to ask questions. But a lot of times you ask dumbass questions on those boards, you got shit on by all these old school breeders. Because why the fuck are you breeding dogs if you don't already know that? And I didn't see their point at the time. I'm like, oh, you bitter old fucks. You don't want to see anybody shine. No. No, sir. If you don't know simple shit like that, why the fuck are you breeding? And I get it now, and I agree 100%. Anyway, so 11 months old, we take her out. I have a friend of mine, Cropper. Wasn't a vet. I'm not proud of it. I had a friend of mine, Cropper, and which since then, all my crops have been done by a vet. All my crops now get done by the same vet that I see for C-sections, everything. So it's all professional and on the level now, but then it wasn't. And Francesca is very resistant to anesthesia, so it was not easy to get that crop done. But we got the crop done. I actually had to lie to the guy and tell him that she was only like 6 months, even though she was 11. But she was small enough and compact enough that you could lie, and it was believable. And it was funny because I told the guy a couple years after that, you know, like that bitch was a year old. She wasn't 6 months. And obviously, you know, he was like, oh, you fuck, you shouldn't have lied to me. But he was telling me it wasn't going to get done unless she was certain months. So I'm like, fuck it, she's only 7 months old, you know? It's a learning process, man. Not, you know, I wish it wouldn't have went down that way, but that's how it went down. It's fucking part of history. It's like the Civil War. We wish the Civil War didn't go down the way it did, but it did. That happened over slaves. You know what I'm saying? That happened. Anyway, that's history. You can't do anything about that. But, so I get her ears cropped. Her head looks amazing. We take her to a show just to hang out and show her off. I take her to this show in Ohio. I had just picked up a little puppy named Jackpot and a little female named Blue Rose. And we take them to this Ohio show. I think it was I think Jay Machiavelli threw the show. Take her to the show in Ohio, and she cleans house. She wins all 3 shows, goes all the way to compete for best pocket against the male all 3 times, won one of those best pockets, showed in the best of winners. I don't think she won either one of the best of winners, but made it there. And it just kind of light bulb come on in my head like, oh, there's something about this bitch. You know, even the judges, there was bigger dogs in the ring. Big Papa was in the ring. Wolverine was in the ring. These are in the champion, grand champion classes also. So they weren't competing at the time. But each judge said something about that bitch. The way she moves, her coat so shiny, the muscularity, the compactness, her head shape. Not the most massive bitch, but bully. You could see it on her. And then when she moved, all these big lunky motherfuckers that were around her really didn't look that great because she moved awesome. Doesn't move that great now, 7.5 years old, you know. But so we went to that Ohio show and she cleaned house, just tore up. And it's not something I was used to at the time because it was a struggle to show Rain and win with Rain. One of the reasons is because I was stacking him like he was on a stack-off stage, pulling his front end as far apart as I possibly could and letting him stand there with this big, massive chest that he had. Not a good idea. Not the way to be successful in a fucking show ring for sure. So she cleans up, which was, you know, something new to me. It was a great feeling. It was like I accomplished something even though I didn't fucking put in 5 minutes of practice. Literally just took her there and let her show. And she's just a natural. I mean, it's what she did. So then we took her to a show in Atlanta called Bully Mania. It was at the old underground train station. It was a crazy venue, one of the best venues I've ever been to. And Francesca had just earned her champion. So this is the first show she's going to be showing as a champion. The first judge is Friday night, which is Rolando. Or actually, yeah, it was Rolando Mata, Abkc senior judge now. I don't think he was a senior judge then. But Rolando doesn't pick her in the champion class. And I'm fucking heartbroken because I'm used to winning now with her, you know. But people, you don't understand, once you get in that champion class, it's a whole different ball game. You're going against other dogs that also are used to winning. You understand what I'm saying? Dogs are not in the champion class that haven't been winning shit. Obviously, they're there for a reason. So Rolando dumps her. I'm like devastated. We come back Saturday. There's 3 shows Saturday. Milo was judging, Marco Suarez was judging, and I think Rodrigo was judging. Rodrigo from ATL was judging. I go in against, or in Milo's ring, and Milo gives her a reserve, which, I mean, 30-something dogs in the champion class. First weekend she's ever been in the champion class. Getting a reserve, I was like, yo, that's dope. You know, she didn't get anything last night, got a reserve today. Going to Rodrigo's ring, or maybe it was just Milo and Marco Suarez. Anyway, the last show of the night, she wins the champion class, which is, to me, I didn't fucking know what was going on. I didn't know the schedule. I didn't know anything. She wins the champion class, and everybody's shaking her hand. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. She gets this big plaque. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. Then she has to go in against the grand champion and best of winners next. And she beats them. So she gets the best of breed, best in show, because there was no other breeds then. It was just bullies. So she gets this big best in show plaque, and it's just like, it was fucking overwhelming, man. I literally had to take a walk just to get my shit together, you know? Just take a 5-minute walk just to come back down here to get centered. And Marco Suarez says, that's the type of bitch I want in my house. If you want to sell her, I'll buy her. And this is something I've actually never told many people. He said, that's the type of bitch I want in my house. If you want to sell her, I'll buy her. I said, she's not for sale. He said 10,000. I said, she's not for sale. He said 15,000. She's not for sale. You gotta understand, this is 2011. So, I mean, females especially weren't going 15K back then. Not in my bubble anyway. You know what I mean? Not in my circle. So, I mean, that was an accomplishment in itself just to be offered that kind of money for a dog. So, I knew I had something special. Every judge that seen her said to me the same thing. There is something about that bitch. I don't know what it is. John Certeza, Marco Suarez, Milo, Rodrigo, eventually maybe Rachel, Cindy McCloskey. A lot of judges that are still judging now said to me even then, something about that bitch. Something special about her. So, you know, in 2012, we competed against Bistro. We competed against Big Papa. We competed against, Jesus, Dirty Money. All the Gatekeeper, all the big dogs back then. We competed against and beat Hawk, Grand Champion Hawk, the Bullmaster's son. We competed against every top 10 dog in the country that year and beat them except for one. Except for one other female named Abkc. Abkc and Francesca never got to be in the same ring together. And I would have loved to make that shit happen, because everybody on the West Coast put Abkc up on this pedestal, and everybody on the East Coast put Francesca up on this pedestal. So it was almost like an East Coast, West Coast rivalry that I'd never even seen Abkc until I went to Las Vegas one year. And I didn't have Francesca with me. So I would have loved to make that happen, but Francesca competed against females like Zika, females like, actually she never competed against Bombs over Baghdad. I was going to say Bombs, but I think Bombs was out of the show thing before Francesca came in. But competed against two of the best males to ever walk in the show ring ever and beat them multiple times, Bistro and Big Papa. Shout out to my guy Mo Barrow that had Big Papa. We used to have a real nice friendly competition. It was always sportsmanlike. It was always respectful. Real friendly competition, but he'll tell you himself, he dreaded seeing Francesca come to a show. He had no problem if Bistro was there. Dreaded seeing Francesca come there because, like I said, when I put a female that moved as well as she did and still had that bully lip, when I put her next to these big-ass dogs, sometimes it made them look worse than they were. Big Papa's an awesome dog, But moving next to her, you can really see some things that you don't want to see. So, and Mo will tell you this shit himself. He dreaded seeing her come to a show. Just one of those females you didn't want to see walk in the building because she had the potential to take every fucking ribbon and trophy in that building, you know. But had a really good career, and that's actually the first time I seen Bistro. Now here's where the other half of Cletus's pedigree wraps into this story. Bistro and Young Nubs are at a New Jersey show hosted by, I think, Patrick Volpe. Man, I can't remember. I hope I'm not cutting somebody's legs out from under him and not giving him credit. I think it was hosted by Pat. So Francesca is competing against in the same ring, Big Papa, Stax, Grand Champion Stax, and Bistro. All three in one ring. And she wins one of those best of breeds that weekend. Only one, but still, that's a fucking lineup. And there was another dog named KO the Beast, owned by a guy named Frank. There was another dog there, KO the Beast, who was on like a 9-show win streak where he hadn't lost a best in breed competition for like 7 or 8 shows. 7 or 8 actual shows. Not, I think 3 events, but like 7 or 8 shows in a row he was rolling. He was in the top 5 at the time also. So it wasn't. There's an iconic picture somewhere. I don't know who's got it. I think I actually might have it, where it's Bistro up front, Papa second, KO the Beast third, Stax fourth, and Francesca in the back at 5th. That's a crazy lineup for a female to have to go in there against. KO the Beast was a pocket dog. Bistro was a pocket dog, but Bistro was one of the biggest names already in the business and killing shows. Big Papa was one of the biggest dogs in the building and one of the biggest names in killing shows. Grand Champion Stax was already a fucking legend in the show ring. And this bitch goes in there and wins one of those best in shows. Anyway, that was the first time I seen Bistro. That was the first time we competed against each other. I didn't really have a lot of knowledge about how judging went. I've learned a lot of things about structure and how a dog's supposed to be built. I didn't know a lot about breed type. I didn't know a lot about character. I thought I knew. I didn't really know shit. So I actually kind of attacked Bistro and Rob because I didn't understand how they were winning. I understand now because Bistro is one of the best examples of an American bully you're ever going to see. Does he have his structural flaws? Of course he does. Does every other dog in the ring have structural flaws? Of course they do, even if they're not the same as what he has. So anyway, I kind of bashed Bistro a little bit. Didn't like him. Would have never thought about breeding my dog to him. But the more I learned, the more I appreciated Bistro. The more I learned about how the American Bully character is supposed to be, how the American Bully type, overall breed type is supposed to be, silhouette, movement. From top to bottom, Grand Champion Bistro is one of the winningest dogs in Abkc history for a reason. And shout out and kudos to the judges who could recognize that shit then. Because there wasn't a lot of focus being put on breed type then. There wasn't a lot of focus being put on what's best for this breed moving forward then. You understand what I'm saying? There was a lot of politics going on then. There was a lot of buddy shit going on then. 2011, 2012. And Bistro comes out of nowhere. And most of these judges that were judging then didn't even like Rob. So Rob was fighting an uphill battle every fucking time he took that dog to a show. So kudos to the judges that put him up, and kudos to Rob for, putting his chin up, putting his chest out, grabbing his balls, and facing that shit head on, because he made that dog a legend, and he deserves to be a legend. Anyway, that was the first time I seen Bistro, and didn't like him. Kind of bashed him a couple times. Not bashed him, just gave my opinion about why I didn't think he should be winning. But the more I learned, the more I realized how how much of an asset that dog is, you know? And it was actually one time in Francesca's lifetime, career, that I considered breeding Bistro's dad, Lock and Load, to Francesca. So I've mulled around I've kicked around the thought of those two being put in the same pedigree for years before it actually happened. So anyway, moving forward, Bistro goes on 2012, just kills the show ring. Him and Papa have this epic fucking battle for number one. 2013, they do it again. Bistro's all up and down, all over. Killing shows. 2014 comes around, and let me try to get this right. So I think 2013 is when I did the Jackpot and Francesca breeding. Francesca was actually bred to Grand Champion Stacks twice before I decided to breed her to my own dog. She didn't take. Now, Grand Champion Francesca's been bred, and don't call PETA, but she's been bred 8 times. She's only ever had 3 puppies. She's only ever got pregnant twice out of those 8 breedings. So she's had 3 puppies in her lifetime. With Jackpot, she had Cleopatra and a male named Jack Black. And then I bred her again to Little V, Black Label, Little V. And we only had 1 female, and I still have that female also. So I own the only 2 females off of Grand Champion Francesca. So it's almost impossible to get her blood unless you come through me. And Maestro, Cletus, some of the stuff that we've got going on, these males off of Maestro and Esmeralda now. Esmeralda's off of Francesca. That's 2 times Francesca. Nowhere else in the world can you replicate that pedigree. That's impossible. I'm the only person that has that shit. And I take pride in that because Francesca is a bitch you build your foundation off of. Now, did I want to hold it all to myself? No. I would much rather that bitch had 3 large, healthy litters, got retired, and a lot of people benefit from her blood. Not the way it worked out, so I got to keep it exclusive, and I got to be selfish with it. I mean, it has to be that way. So I put Jackpot and Francesca together and got Cleopatra. When Cleopatra came out, I knew that bitch was special. I could see it the day she was born. And I actually had, when she was 4.5 weeks, I had a couple people at my house that had multiple $10,000 offers for her before she was even just barely walking, you know. So, and the trash guy's here, so my dogs are about to go crazy. So just prepare for that. Anyway, so I put Jackpot and Francesca together, get Cleopatra, and I kind of have a plan for her up until I bred her, but I didn't really have anything set in stone, and I didn't have an exact idea of how I was going to bring in the traits that I needed to bring in to make the improvements that I needed to make. Do you pick up what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? There were some things about her that I needed to improve, and I didn't really exactly know how to pinpoint that shit and fix it until I'm in the Philippines. Now I'm a judge, you know, fast forward to I'm judging. I'm in the Philippines on my first international assignment with Rob Lee, happens to be with Rob Lee. And Rob and I talked a few times through the years, kept it cordial, never really had a connection, never really, you know, fucked with each other, we'll say. Kept it cordial, kept it respectful, kept it sportsmanlike, but never really got tight, never really got close. On this Philippines trip, our first international judging assignment, both of us, we talk, we you know, talk about some things, talk about what Bistro's been doing for him, talk about what Jackpot and what's been happening for me, talk about Francesca, talk about how, you know, their competitions and how it was like a heated thing. And I tell him how I had been contemplating at one point breeding Francesca, Grand Champion Francesca, to Grand Champion Lock and Load. We, one thing leads to another, and we talk about, well, there's a daughter off of Francesca, Cleopatra, and she needs the things that Bistro continuously produces in his offspring. She needs everything that he produces. And for me, I breed the female. I'm not worried about fixing Bistro. Bistro's not my dog. I'm worried about cleaning up some of the things on Cleopatra that I want to clean up. So then I go home from the Philippines and I get to research and I get to looking in behind Bistro and what he's producing and what traits he's constantly bringing out or on his offspring. Well-angulated rear, wide hips, wide ribs, and short backs. Every time that dog's bred, well-angulated rears, wide hips, wide ribs, and short backs. Every fucking time. What do I need? All of that. You know anything about jackpot and jackpot blood? Not the best, and coming off of cash pot and dax, not the best angulation. Coming off of that stuff, not the shortest backs in the world. Coming off that stuff, not the widest hips or rib cages. Narrow bodies, narrow hips, stiff rears. So what do I need? Everything that dog has to offer. Everything that dog brings to the table. So we make the decision to put Bistro on Cleopatra. Now, the rest is history. You guys know Maestro come out of there, Loki come out of there, Aphrodite come out of there, Red Rhino come out of there, Triton that went to Guam, who's now in Australia, came out of there. Really good matchup. Worked really well, but still a couple of things that came out of Cleopatra that I didn't really want to see come out every single time. You understand what I'm saying? So then we get to talking, and this male, the Bus, who I've already judged in the ring, I already know is one of the best pocket American bullies we have available to us, and excuse me, and he's shorter in the back than Bistro and is producing short backs. And he's even got wider hips than Bistro and is producing wide rears, wide hips. Thick, muscled up, girthy dogs. Wide rib cages with the short backs. So we just make the decision again. I make the decision again. Let's take the Bus to Cleopatra. The results are Cletus. The results are Bus Jr. The results are King Napoleon up in Canada with Andrea Papp. Shout out to Andrea. The results are Lagatha, who nobody's even seen yet, female that I kept off that litter. The results are Harley, who not many people have seen yet either. Rob's pick off of that litter. This litter is a 5 for 5. There is no last pick in it. They're all first pick worthy dogs. I actually wasn't supposed to end up with Junior and Cletus. Junior was sold to Jamaica at like 8 weeks or 9 weeks. And then some stuff happened by the time he was 6 months. They just couldn't make it happen. So I decided to keep him here because I could see the potential already. But I wasn't even supposed to have him. He's supposed to have been gone a long time ago. But like I said, everything happens for a reason, man. I believe that shit. I believe that shit. So I have both of them. I decide Cletus is going to be the first one to show. I sent Cletus with Dr. Wilson, Tyler Wilson, handler extraordinaire. And they put in some work with him. Took a lot to get him used to a leash. But right now he's a fucking professional. They did a crazy good job and they killed it. And I couldn't be happier. And I usually don't get too excited over a champion. But I've seen the competition he went up against. I was there for 2 of those events. And both times that he's winning these best of winners, he's competing against legit dogs. If it was mediocre dogs, I wouldn't be too excited about it, but he's beat some really nice dogs. So I think in 6 months, I'm gonna put him up for a little while. I'm gonna let him hang out and develop and mature, finish maturing. Then in 6 months or 8 months, we're gonna come back for that grand champion title. And I'm telling you, in a year, this is gonna be one of the best pocket American bullies on the planet Earth. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. That's a fucking fact. Anytime I say that's a fact, you know that that's just my opinion that I'm just pushing as a fact. So you just, if you don't know that by now, that's a little tip, little secret to dealing with me. But it all starts from Francesca, man. Everything starts from Francesca. The Rachel and Austin Ogletree in Atlanta. The first time I met them is because Francesca was going in for the best of breed. And we had to sit till 2 o'clock in the morning at the Bully Mania venue. And everyone else left. We really didn't have anybody else to talk to but each other. And these are lifelong friends now. These are people I consider family now. Met from Francesca. The Elite Edge. When I got invited to be a member of the Elite Edge, it was for 2 reasons. One, they thought I was a yes man and I was going to do everything they fucking said all the time. They found out that they can lick my testicle sack and I didn't give a fuck what anybody thinks or says. I do what I want. 2, second reason was because of Francesca, and she was killing the show ring at the time. So it was a good addition, but I think the reason I got into the Elite Edge was mainly because of Francesca. So when they asked me to be in the Elite Edge, I think it was mostly because of her. When I was asked if I wanted to start judging, one of the reasons was the success I had with her in the ring. Everything starts with Francesca. Maestro, Cleo, Cletus, everything. Junior, Loki, all these dogs. Everything that I've got coming for the next 3 generations is going to be tied into Grand Champion Francesca. Everything starts with her, man. I don't know, once in a lifetime bitch, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for E, even though I offered to take care of your bitch. You being a stand-up guy and just seeing the fact that I was a real deal dog man and I could handle that situation. And standing behind your word to let me get that second pick, there was no questions. There was never a question. So shout out, blessed to have you in my corner, homie. I appreciate you. Shout out to Ife Okidoku. And if you haven't already, search him on Facebook. IFE is his first name. There'll be a picture of him and Riff Raff. I think they're models now. Or I thought he was a comedian, but then he's doing hostage negotiation and stopping people from killing themselves. Now he's a model with his fucking dog. He's making video games, or he's got some kind of coloring book or something going on. I don't fucking know what he's got going on over there. Go check his shit out. Without that man, Francesca would not be here, and my whole fucking story would be way different. I promise you. Anyway, that's it for me. That's an hour and 5 minutes of me talking. No one wants to fucking live through again. If you haven't already, subscribe to the iTunes Bull-NA-China-Shop podcast, Bull-NA-China-Shop TV on YouTube, Bull-NA-China-Shop TV on Instagram, Bull-NA-China-Shop TV right here on Facebook. Subscribe to this page, like this page, follow this page, share it with your friends, share the video. I appreciate you motherfuckers hanging out with me. My bad, man. I know it's been 10 days since we did a podcast. Life's got me fucked up a little bit, you know? So we're back on track now. I'll see you guys Wednesday. I think we're going to do something with Jamie Sweet and talk about something actually serious. Something you guys can learn some shit from. You know what I mean? Instead of just me rambling. Anyway, I love your faces. Shout out to this beautiful motherfucker in Thailand that made this. I love your face too. Shout out to everybody that supports me, man. I'll see you guys Wednesday.